Why? What's up, real MVPs? What's up, Bulls fans? Ricky Widmer here, along for another Ricky's Bulls reaction. This one coming out a day after the Bulls fall, 105-98 to the New York Knicks. And I'm just going to promote patreon.com/mostvaluable-podcast right now. Go ahead, check it out. Link down below in the description if you want to help support the channel, support us, what we're doing here at Most Valuable Podcast. And I'm getting that out of the way quick because this was not a, usually I try to start off with the positives. The last few I've been like, okay, let's start with what's been good before we move on into maybe what's been bad. But this one, there was some good. I'm going to leave that to the end this time, but I just want to get started with what might be the negative. And number one, the end of this game. If you are a Bulls fan and the end of this game does not piss you off, then you have a stronger will than, not a will, but you have a stronger patience for this team than I do. Because watching the end of this game, I knew it's a tricky thing watching some of these games for me because since some of them I'm not watching them live because I'm doing other things like recording podcasts and stuff, I already know the outcome before the end of the game. And you might think, well, Ricky, that kind of cheats you from the true emotion that you would have from this. Oh, I tell you, it does not cheat you from anything because I feel maybe it makes me more angry watching a game like this, knowing what is coming and then seeing how it unfolds, because this game, I couldn't help but think, all right, 98-90, I'm feeling good. And then the back of my head, you're like, they lost this game. They lost. And it's like, well, fuck. It's coming. It's coming. Just how does it happen? This Bulls game, the reason why I'm so upset is it had to be, I want to say it was the last 4 possessions. Might have been the last 5, but the last 4 possessions, I'm thinking, what were we doing offensively? Early in the game, the positive comes out right now. We started the first quarter exactly like I wanted us to. We played it almost exactly like I wanted. Ball was moving. Otto Porter hit some shots. We were up by, 33-15? We were doubling the Knicks score. I'm like, cool. If we play like this the rest of the game, even if we tick off a little bit, we should be able to beat the Knicks by at least 20, 18, 17 in this game. But it was after that quarter, the Bulls kind of regressed into what they have been, and the last 4 possessions, using them as a microcosm for me, what was the shot selection from the Bulls? It was 103-98, and I remember thinking, all right, Zach LaVine forced up a bad 3. You had Tomas Satoransky forced up a bad shot, and it seemed like we were like, oh no, we're down 103-98, better jack up a 3 to win the game, which first off, I'm thinking, we don't shoot the 3 that well right now. The only person on our team, did he even miss one in the game? Oh, he missed one, so he's no longer perfect. Ryan Arcidiacono is our best 3-point shooter on the year. Had not missed a 3 coming into this game. He went 1 of 2 in this one, so finally he missed. But, I mean, you look at it. Lauri Markkanen, 2 for 6. Otto Porter, 1 for 6. Zach, 2 for 7 from 3. Sato, 1 of 5 from 3. Bulls went 9 of 35 in this game from 3. Why would you even... First off, we were only down 103-98. You could score some 2s and get into the game, especially, like I said, 4 possessions. Let's say one of those you throw out because maybe you're not going to score on every single one of those. You score on 2 of them, it's a 1-point game. You score on 3 of them, you got a 1-point lead. That's the thing I think the Bulls team needed at the end. Go to the basket, get some 2s. They're talking early in the game how Zach wants to don't let the mid-range die. Take a mid-range shot instead of jacking up that 3, because the thing that gets me so upset about them is there were time on the shot clock. It wasn't like, okay, shot clock expiring, let me just jack up a 3 here. No, there was time, especially I remember vividly in my head, the Satoransky 3, you had 10 seconds on the clock, and even the Bulls in the fourth quarter, their decision-making was not so hot. Zach had a drive in, instead of, like, he stopped, spun, tried to get, it's like, just kick it out, we'll pass it. Otto can maybe hit a three. I say maybe because we haven't been hitting our three, so I'm not going to expect any of them to drop. And for me, that's what frustrated me the most is late in the game, it felt like the Bulls were like, we need to hit a three. We need to hit a three to get back in this game. When it was like, no, we can get some twos and rely on our defense, which, except for Bobby Portis in the fourth or in the second half, our defense was good early in the game. But, I mean, it was all doomed to fail, right? I mean, I'm sitting there going, I'm feeling good about this team. The Knicks aren't that good. I'm not, like, even in the last game, I'm not worried about the Knicks. And then we go ahead and lose. So that's kind of one. I just wanted to get that off. That's what's really, like, making my blood boil right now is the last few offensive possessions for this team. Number two, I'm issuing a worldwide panic. Well, not a worldwide, a citywide panic for our bigs. And the reason why is after this game, I'm thinking, well, even during the game, I'm like, okay, I know Bobby has a big game because that's all anyone was talking about. Julius Randle's not playing bad. Like, if you look at the lines from this game, Marcus Morris, he only had 10 points, went to the line for one. He didn't play that well, but like 10 points is 10 points, and one of those was a long-distance shot. Bobby Portis had himself a freaking game. It was a revenge game for Bobby Portis. You knew that coming in, and like, I kept thinking about our bigs, watching Randle, watching Portis. I'm like, be aggressive out there. Like, there was a point where I want to say it was Randle. It might have been Barrett driving in, but I want to say it was Randle. Went to the line on Luke Cornett, and you could tell Cornett was not being aggressive on that, or like was kind of backing off. Boom, Jim Boylan immediately puts in Wendell Carter to play with that second unit. And there's part of me like, okay, if you look at our minutes, Ryan, Chris, Kobe, Luke, they all got 16. I was wondering if, okay, maybe Thad and Cool Hand Luke, as Stacey King likes to call him, if they were supposed to be in there longer, or if that was like, part of me is like, oh, well, is that a rotation thing? I'm thinking based off of what my eyes saw, hey, they're really bodying up Luke down there. We don't need that defensively. I need to put Wendell back in the game. But even Wendell and Lowry, where it's like, I feel like bigs this year, I don't want to use the word abuse our team, but I want to say abuse our team because like, if I can talk without kind of choking on my own words here, you look at every game we've played against the Hornets, who had, let's see, 15 points, 6 of 11 from the field. Cody Zeller had a good game against us. You look at the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. had 23 points against us. Then you look at the Raptors, Pascal Siakam had 19. You had what? Where is he? Serge had 18. I'm looking at these teams and I'm going, okay, their 4s and 5s, their bigs, are having good games against us. Also, you look at it, people who can drive to the lane are having some good games against us. OG Anunoby, and I know he had 3 threes in that. Like, that was one where they were hitting threes as well, but like, I feel like these bigs are abusing our guys defensively, and that's where I'm getting to the point where let me see Daniel Gafford. Like, Jim Boylan, please let me see some Daniel Gafford out there, because in Summer League, I saw good defense, except for against Jackson Hayes. I saw good defense from Daniel Gafford. In the preseason, I saw good defense, especially that Pacer and that Buck game. Good defense from Daniel Gafford. And I know what some of you are thinking, Ricky, Summer League, most of the big guys weren't playing. Like, and big guys, I mean, like, vets weren't there, obviously. And some of the big notable picks, like John Morant, didn't even play in Summer League. And then in preseason is different than regular season. I get that. I'm not expecting Gafford to come in, boom, and be immediately what I saw in Summer League or preseason, but something needs to change early on. Something needs to be inserted, because I feel like all year what's going to happen is teams are going to, like, this game should have been a blowout for the Knicks. That's how I feel. That's how I feel, because they're a team that is loaded on bigs, can't really shoot the ball. RJ Barrett's a driver. And I mean, you look at it from 3 points in this game. I'm looking at the Raptor box score. The Knicks pulled that up. They went 9 of 29 from 3. Bulls went 9 of 35. Even wash there. So it's like, is that why we were in? Like, because the Knicks can't shoot threes and they still won the game, should that worry us as Bulls fans going forward? Because you look at it, and I know it was earlier in the game, Stacey King was like, oh man, they're really letting them play, which I'm going to bookmark and go back to my point about the last 4 plays. Part of me feels like, all right, maybe the Bulls were going for threes because, hey, we're going to drive in. We're not going to get the call necessarily. Is that a refs affecting how the Bulls were thinking later on? I'm not giving them that, though. You can't settle for threes early in the shot clock when you can move the ball or try to get a better shot, even if it's a 2 over a 3 in that situation, and kind of trust your defense a little bit. But back to what I was going with, this was a game where, yes, the Bulls had 21 foul shots. They made 81% of them. That's good. That's 17 points that we got from our foul shots. The Knicks went to the line for 32, and they only made, 62% of them? I went back and looked at the other games. The Hornets, they only went to the line for 16, but they made 81% of those foul shots. Grizzlies had 20, made 70% of them, though. And then the Raptors, they went ahead and did 18, but they made 94.4. They only missed 1 foul shot in that game. So, I mean, if we're going to do basic math, and I'm going to pull my phone out for this, let's see, 32 times, I'll go 70 to be nice. That would be about 2 more points. So the Grizzly one is not that huge. But let's say they shot the same percentage as us from from the foul line, if I can click my calculator right. Yeah, that's about 5 or 6 more points than they had. And that might not seem a lot, but it is. That would have been a 110 to 98 game. Also, if they make more threes, if they could actually shoot the ball as a team, you look at the other teams so far this year. The Hornets had a historic is the word I'm looking for. Historic night, 23 made threes. You still look at the Grizzlies. They were a team. Couldn't hit their shot. Only had 10 threes. To our 12 threes, we won that game. Then you look at the Raptors. They shot 15. They made 15 threes in that game, which was more than the Grizzlies, more than the Knicks. So, to me, this should have been the game that I saw. The Bulls obviously should have won, but like, there's a part of me that's looking like, even if we won, it wasn't a good game from the Bulls, because if the Knicks could shoot a little bit better, they could go ahead and have won this game by more. And it's like, maybe that played into it, because this team wasn't going to be shooting threes on threes on threes and making them at a great clip like we saw Charlotte and Toronto make more threes and shoot better from beyond the arc than us in those games. And also with the foul numbers I wanted to throw out there is, yes, RJ Barrett had 11 of those 32 attempts, but that still leaves, and I did this math while watching the game, that leaves then, 30, if I'm doing my math right, that leaves 21 foul attempts for the other team. Marquise Morris only had 1, so he kind of sits out on this, but you've got Julius Randle, Mitch Robb, who I haven't even mentioned. Mitch Robb had 4, Julius Randle had 5, Bobby Portis had 5. That's then 14 of those 21 free throws were going to the bigs of the Knicks. And if we add in Marquise Morris on top of that, then that makes, 15 of the 21? And then I go and you've got Kevin Knox had 4. So it's like, really most of those bigs, and I know you're thinking, Ricky, great, you can add up foul shots, but I think it's worrisome going forward, seeing the trend I'm seeing through 4 games so far, and something needs to change. And with the bigs, it's easy. I think getting Gafford more minutes could help, I don't want to say spice things up, but I mean, we drafted him for a reason, and we're not playing him. And it's like, part of me is like, why are we not playing him? Has he, in practice, not shown Jim Boylen what he can do out there? Does Jim Boylen not have confidence in him? That's what I'm thinking. But this is probably the toughest loss of the year to swallow, because we should have won this game, should have gone to 2-2, but let's say even if we were 2-3, even if we were 2-3, no, 2-2, I had it right the first time. This is only game 4. Even if we were 2-2, this Bulls team is far from being the product we would like to see on the floor. But let me know what you guys think down below in that comment section. What are your thoughts from this game? Also, as I've pitched every single time, make sure to hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions. If you're watching the game, have something, want to throw it my way, make sure I talk about it in a Ricky's Bulls reaction. Make sure to hit me up on Twitter at Ricky Widmer. Want to thank you guys for watching this. Let's hope that the Bulls can get on track tomorrow night. I got to go see what my dogs are all riled up about. But as always, have a good day, everybody.